Yes, so you have played in front of packed crowds like in Kolkata as well, Mohun Bagan, East Bengal. Apart from that, teams in the Northeast as well, like Aizawl and Shillong Lajong. So, how do you think the crowd in Kolkata, Northeast, and especially Kerala as well, is different from rest of the rest parts of the country?
I think those are the games that give you goosebumps, and tell you that yeah, you're doing something good. Otherwise, the kind of pressure we go through, the kind of it's not easy for us as coaches, for the players to play, to give you the whole year and play in an empty stadium. The moment you see these are the kind of games that we look forward to, where we have the fans. So whenever the league fixtures are out, the first thing we see is, when are we playing East Bengal? When are we playing Mohun Bagan? Not at home, but away. Away. When are we going to travel away? So those were the first thing that we would see. And yeah, even Aizawl, I had a lovely fan base. It was super. In Mohammedan Sporting, I had a lovely fan base. Always at home. I think that was super. But for the teams with a different kind of fan base, like what we have right now in Delhi, when we always look forward to those big games. When are we going away to play against those big teams? Like now, we look forward to playing against Mohammedan Sporting next. We look forward to playing against Shillong Lajong, where we had a packed stadium. Against Aizawl, my former club, we had super turnout from the fans. These are kind of games you work forward to. Even Gokulam now have a good fan base in Kerala, and these are the kind of games that we are really looking forward to playing. And these are the games that the players are also motivated to play, and it brings a lot of energy. The fans bring a lot of energy. The energy resonates from the fans into the players, and that what makes football so beautiful and so entertaining.
So let's shift the focus to Indian football, like national team now. So India will be playing the Asian Cup next month. What are your expectations from our national team?
See, I think it's fantastic because now there's a break in Indian football because of the national team, and that is something that this should be the main focus. Because if our national team doesn't do well, doesn't matter how much of money we are putting into Indian football. If our rank does not go up, Indian football is going nowhere. To be honest, it doesn't matter how much of money you spend in the ISL, in this league, that it doesn't matter. If the Indian football national team is not going ahead, we are going nowhere. So it's a good statement that the January break is going to be there, Super Cup is going to be there, and the national team is going to be playing competition. So the whole nation can support the national team. We can see the players. Clubs will never, think twice before they release their players for the national team. And I think the club should never even think twice before releasing a player for the national team. If I am the coach, if a player is called for national team, doesn't matter where I am on the table, I will let that player go. It is always nation first. I don't care, and this is what these foreign coaches need to understand, that of course they are there for their job, they are there for making their money. If their team doesn't give results, they are going back home. But we as Indian coaches, we know, we feel that emotion, that if a player is called for national team, I will release. I don't care where I am on the table, whether I'm fighting for championship, whether I'm fighting for relegation. The national team comes first. So that's the difference that we see, that what's going on here, and the priorities of these foreign coaches. They say they want to see Indian football grow and rise, but how? If it's not, the national team is not growing, then where is Indian football growing? So I think that the clubs, these coaches, need to allow their players to go first for national duty, and this break has given a strong statement, to let the players go for national duty and help Indian football. That is what we really look forward to, and this is what makes us really happy as a coach, as players, as fans. I think we are all really happy to see that a national team will go with full strength, not like what it was in the previous competition. You know.
Yes, so there has been a few Indian players in I League as well, especially like the names of David Lal Sangha in Mohammedan, who has been having a fantastic season. But still, like the I League Indian players' names are omitted from the probables list published by the AIFF a few days back. So do you think that this is a bit unfair on the part of I League clubs?
It's very sad, because I said there's a lot of potential, a lot of quality in the I League, and players should be given an opportunity into the national team from the I League. David was my first player in Aizawl FC, where I picked him up from the academy and made him play for Aizawl, and he did great for me in 2 seasons. And now I'm so happy to see him in Mohammedan Sporting. becoming the top scorer of the CFL and the Durand Cup. And this boy has always been fantastic for me. So yeah, I saw a lot of potential in him. I see him grow, and definitely he's a prospect for the national team. Not just him, there are so many more. I don't want to individually take names, but there are so many more in the I League who is probably good enough to play in the national team. But I think because they think it's tier two, probably they don't get the opportunity that they deserve. But the moment they sign an ISL contract, they're in the national team without even playing a game in the ISL. So I don't understand what goes on and how the selection process is. But I think we need to make it a bit more fair and give opportunities to those who truly deserve it.
Sir, how do you see the grassroots level development programs like the AIFF Academy playing the crucial role in achieving the Vision 2047 goals, Indian football?
In my opinion, one academy is not going to do anything to develop Indian football. We need 100. It's a 1.6 billion population nation, and you want one academy with 20 players to help you win the World Cup or qualify for the World Cup. Mathematically, it's quite crazy if you just think about it. But I think we need 100 such academies. We need academies like this in every state, every corner, to help develop Indian football. One is not going to do justice to 2047 plan, and I think the clubs also need to take initiative. If AIFF cannot set up so many academies, the clubs should have a proper youth setup because they have the funds already. AIFF should just make it compulsory that every I League and ISL club have a youth setup running throughout the season, and it automatically boosts the grassroots and the youth development in India. But I really think it's a long process. Japan, planned for the 2050 World Cup, and they plan on winning the World Cup, and the plan is with players who are not even born yet. So that's the kind of plan you need. These players are not born yet, and they're already planning how to win the World Cup. So I think just one academy is really not going to help. Of course, it can be a roadmap, it can be a blueprint for us to follow, but I think we need more. We need quantity right now, quantity more than anything.
When we are talking about 2047, how can I League be better integrated into the Vision 2047 roadmap?
I think without the I League, I think Indian football is incomplete. Without the I League, Indian football, nothing. These are all clubs. ISL previously were all franchisees converted to clubs. So yeah, definitely, I think that focus needs to be given a lot more to the I League. I League clubs are struggling. We are not getting enough matches telecasted these days, which is really sad. All our matches are not being telecasted. How are we going to get sponsors? How are we going to survive? So I think that a little bit more importance, if it can be given, I think the I League clubs could also do great and contribute to Indian football. We are not differentiating between the two leagues. We're just hoping we can contribute more towards Indian football, and I think a little bit more importance needs to be given in some aspects, which really I think it's not an impossible task. It's quite possible, but I think it needs to be filtered correctly.
Yes, so if you saw the yesterday's ISL match between Mohun Bagan and Mumbai, there were six red cards handed out by the referee Rahul Gupta. So the refereeing in general has been very, very poor, not only this season but for the last 5 to 6 seasons in both the I League and the ISL. So how do you think the refereeing standards can be improved in India? And the second question is that do you think VAR is a necessity at this moment in Indian football?
See, all the referees are also humans. They also make mistakes. I think, in the past, I've also lost my head on referees a lot. But then, as coaches, also we make mistakes on the field. As players, also they make mistakes. Referee also makes mistakes, and that's the beautiful part of football: human errors. The team that makes lesser mistakes wins matches. It's as simple as that. So we can't always blame the referees for everything. They are trying their best. They need to be motivated because we don't have too many referees in India right now. We need more numbers of referees, quality referees coming up. They are trying their best. I can see that the quality is getting better over the years. Yeah, it's a work in progress, but more focus. instead of only just being given to the I League and ISL referees, if we start giving importance to referees at the bottom and then groom them to move to the top, that would be much better, because you cannot come and teach small things just directly in the I League or the ISL. I think it need to be taught in the base. So yeah, I think coaches need to be more patient, fans need to be more patient, and definitely VAR is the need of the hour. And it's not impossible. Even a country like Bhutan, where I was last season, started VAR in this previous league that just concluded. So yeah, I don't think it's very difficult for AIFF to get in VAR, but I think we need to, I think, give a bit more credit to the referees for the job they are doing. It's not easy. It's not easy. In that too, a game like Mohan Bagan and Mumbai City, you want the kind of
Exactly,
pressure
sir.
that one man
Exactly.
goes through. It's crazy. So yeah, I think that credit needs to be given where it's due as well. I do lose my head. I do say things sometimes that are against the referees, but they're just doing the job. And yeah, maybe it's not the best, but we have to accept. We are also not the best coaches. We have to accept it. We are not the best players. We have to accept it. But we got to just work and keep moving on and get better, and hopefully not repeat the same mistake twice. That's it.
So, sir, what are some of the biggest challenges you face as a young manager in the I League?
See, now that people know me, it is pretty easy right now. But initially, in my first season in the I League, I was just 24, 25. And not just I League, that time even the AFC Cup, Durand Cup, a lot of cups that that are pretty big for a 24-year-old to handle. But yeah, I think gaining the trust of the players, I think I had a great squad who believed in me. I had great players, senior players, proven players who really trusted me. I had a great management behind me, and of course the fans who were always there for me. And I think we did reasonably well that season. So yeah, I think that as a coach, you develop with time, you get better with time, just like a player, he develops with time. Just as a referee, he develops with time. I think I made my mistakes pretty young, and I keep getting better as a coach. Uh, Day by day, every training session, every match, every team meeting, you get better, you keep learning. And yeah, I think now that, I've been in Indian football in the I League for like 4 to 5 years, people know me. I think probably I'm the only one who's there since the 2019 season in the I League right now. Still coaching in the I League. So yeah, I think that is a statement on itself, that is one man who believed in me, Mr. Bajaj. I think no one else would have given a 24-year-old that opportunity to work in the I League as a coach. But I salute him for believing in me. And yeah, that's why I also don't fear to play young players, because if someone can believe in me, you need to believe in others as well. So yeah, given the opportunity, we've done great. As a coach, I think my dreams are still bigger. I want to wear the Indian national team jersey someday, in the youth, in the senior, anytime. Like I always said, nation before club, always. And even the clubs where I worked in, they know that if I ever get the opportunity to work for the national team in any capacity, I will always give my best and be there for the nation. So yeah, that is the ultimate goal. I'm not saying ISL is the ultimate goal. Of course, maybe in the ISL in the future, I am there in the I League already, but the ultimate goal is the national team.
Yes, so at this moment we don't have many Indian managers both in ISL and I League. So just for you viewers, can you explain that how can an Indian acquire the needed certificates and the licenses to become a manager?
See, I think it's not difficult to obtain your licenses now. It's pretty basic. The D license, C license, but it takes time. It's a work in process. It's not just getting a license and I'm ready to coach in top tier football, which a lot of coaches make that mistake. They want to work at the top the moment they get the bottommost license. So that it takes time. It takes time. So I started when I was 18 with a D license. Today I am 30, getting my pro license. And yeah, so it took me 12 years without any gaps to achieve this. 12 years. But it takes actually longer to get these diplomas, to get your coaching badges upgraded each and every year. But I always tell everyone, work, keep working given the hours. I started my first coaching assignment was working with fifth division club in the Calcutta League. Fifth division, where the mud was till your calf muscles. You know, if it rains, both the teams look the same because of the mud. That's the kind. I've washed bibs, I've cleaned balls, I've filled up air in balls, I've carried water jars for my team to drink water. I've done everything. I've been there at the bottom. So I know I've given my best. And today when I'm here in the I League, I feel great. I feel good that I've worked my way up slowly into the divisions, into the leagues, and like I said, the ultimate is still yet to be achieved. The national team, the India logo here.
Exactly, sir. Everybody dreams for that. So, sir, how can coaches like you collaborate with stakeholders like academies, medias, and fans to create more sustainable and a supportive ecosystem in Indian football?
See, I think in the modern age, in the technological age, connecting fans, connecting managers, connecting players, it's not difficult at all. It's just how you approach them. It's creating a community. I think in the past it was very difficult for anyone to even approach a player because there was nothing called social media, or there was nothing. We got in touch, because how we never knew each other before, but now we are here on a podcast, talking about football, and that's what technology brings in today's world. So there's a lot more interaction between stakeholders. There's a lot more interaction between players, fans, management, the media, the press. It's everything is your life is an open book in today's world. What you do in the morning, everybody knows. What you're doing at night, everybody knows. What you're doing inside the dressing room, everybody knows. But previously, it was never like that. So yeah, times are changing, and I think that it's made a great atmosphere in Indian football where fans are more connected, I feel, to the players, to the clubs, because they can see the details of their favorite teams, their favorite players. And I think that that's brought a lot of change. But I still feel a lot of players, need to be a bit more tech savvy when it comes to the social media, tech smart, because putting up things that are inappropriate. The life is an open book. You're a role model to a lot of people. So yeah, I think it's everything is a learning process for these boys, and I think they're doing great. Indian football is on the rise, and yeah, I'll see a lot of connections now coming in.
Sir, we are aware that AIFF organizes a diploma courses for those who aspire to become professional football coaches in the future. So, since you're associated with this course, we are like, can you please explain it to all our viewers what this course exactly is?
See, I think that coaching is the courses are just a base. They will give you a foundation of what to do as a coach, how to be a coach. But in reality, coaching is completely trial and error. It's all about experience, definitely. That's why people are very afraid to give young coaches that opportunity, And I was really blessed that I got that opportunity when I was young. But I feel that just getting a coaching badge is not the ultimate. I've seen a lot of coaches with pro license sitting at home. I've seen a lot of coaches with a C license working day and night with a lot of quality. So I feel that now coach education is changing a lot. It has really helped a lot of quality coaches come into the leagues. You can see a lot of quality coaches in state leagues, a lot of quality coaches in the I League, and that is super to see. But like this rule came in this season, no foreigners in the state league. This rule should be there. No foreign coaches also in the state leagues. We need to see how we
Exactly,
can
sir.
give our Indian coaches opportunities. If our Indian coaches are not getting opportunities, there's no point doing any coaching batch. There's no point spending so much lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of rupees and years just trying to get a certificate or trying to become a coach. It's not going to help. So we need to set rules. We need to set foundations which will help our Indian coaches manage teams, get coaching hours, and help Indian football grow. Like I said, if and player is called from my team for the national team, I don't care where I stand in the league, I will send that player for national team duty. I don't think any foreign coach would do that for the national team. That they don't care about India. They just want their job. They want their club to do well. They want their salary on time. Otherwise, they go to FIFA and screw the club. Yeah. So that is what is the situation that is going on, and I think that rules need to be set. Rules need to be set. Even in the I League, why not give all the Indian coaches the opportunity? If
Hmm.
all coaches in the ISL are foreign coaches, give Indians somewhere. You saying no Indian coaches are coming? You
Like
need
you
to
are
set a
asking for a
foundation.
platform.
Of course, Indian coaches need the platform. Put them in the state leagues, make it compulsory for every third division I League team to have an Indian coach, make it compulsory for every second division I League team to have an Indian coach, make it compulsory for every I League team to have an Indian coach. If you have a rule that every ISL club should have a foreign coach, why not make rules in the lower leagues that every team should have an Indian coach if you want to develop Indian football? Developing Indian football is not just developing players, it's holistic development. You have to develop infrastructure, you have to develop referees, you got to develop coaches, you got to develop players, you got to develop physios, you got to develop managers. It's a huge task, a huge task. But we have to lay the foundations where we can help each other grow. Otherwise, just bringing in people from outside, how are we growing? You just want 11 players to help you go into the World Cup with a foreign coach. It's not going to happen. How much money will you pay? When you bring Pep Guardiola, I don't know if he can do justice to that job as the Indian national team coach. It's a
Hmm.
work in progress. Everything has to work. Everybody has to develop. So I think it will take time, but we need to work in the right manner.
Since 2000, the next World Cup, the 2026 World Cup, 48 teams will be playing in the FIFA World Cup. So, do you think that India has a chance to qualify for the World Cups next season?
Everything is possible. I think that we don't have to target to be the best 48 in the world. We just have to target to be the top 10 in Asia. And then to qualify for the World Cup, it's as simple as that. So I think we need to set our targets correct. And I think the fans need to understand that there is a huge possibility of playing. Everything is possible. But maybe it could take a little time because, yeah, we're still struggling to get into that top 10, top 5 of Asia because the other teams have been preparing for more than a decade, more than 2 decades before, and I think nothing is impossible for Indian football to reach its peak. More opportunities in the World Cup, and we can already see the kind of football that the Indian national team is playing. We're dominating against higher ranked oppositions in good competition. So, yeah, a lot of positives that we are taking from Indian football right now. The ISL, the I League has really helped, groom these players. Although our national team head coach doesn't get too much time with them, we can see that the players are pretty polished technically. We're getting better. Players are getting smarter. Players are getting fitter. They're much quicker. They are more confident on the ball. They are confident playing under pressure, under huge crowds. So yeah, I think that the leagues have brought a lot of you know development for the players, and yeah, I think it's not difficult for us to qualify for the World Cup.
Yes, sir. So, sir, the teams in India's group in the Asian Cup will be Uzbekistan and Syria, and they both have stopped their league so that the national team can focus for the Asian Cup. But the our head coach Igor Stimac, of course, requested for a few weeks time, but he was only given, I guess, 2 week time, and then the Asian Cup starts. So, do you think that a bigger window, like a 1 month window, would have benefited our Indian team better?
It definitely will. If the Indian national team coach doesn't have time with the team, you cannot expect him to be a magician and just give results overnight. Even the biggest coaches in the world have a good 8 week to 10 week preseason with their team, where you can get them into the right form of mind, tactically tell them, get them understanding to each other, because they are all playing in clubs under different coaches, in different circumstances, different styles. And now, when you're coming to the national team in 2 weeks, you want them to change everything. It's not easy. Like I said, even my preseason could have been better if I had a lot of game time, if I had a lot of competition. So there's a lot of things that you need to see before a national team goes to play any competition. So I think, yeah, if I was a national team coach, I would definitely want a lot more time with the team before I can, go into any competition. But I think, given the circumstances, We have to work around the problems. It is not a overnight solution taking decisions like this, but yeah, I think that the Indian national team coach should get time. Otherwise, you can't blame him for anything.
Yes, so who is the favorite European club?
Mine, I'm a huge fan of Arsenal since childhood. I even had
I'm
the
a Chelsea
opportunity to
fan.
go. Oh, not London, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
South London,
No,
huh?
we are Westland.
So yeah, so yeah, I had the opportunity to go there, play there in the Arsenal International Soccer Festival. I love the way they were under Wenger. Yeah, I love the way they were under Wenger. The Invincibles, that is something that is a different feat to achieve in world football. The Invincibles. So that is something that we all try to achieve, but it's very difficult to get. So yeah, I think under Wenger that was super. But I think as a manager, I follow Marcelo Bielsa. I really like the way his teams play. I really admire the kind of football he brings to the fans, and yeah, that's what I enjoy.
Sir, so according to you, who is going to win the UCL this year?
I wish I could predict. Then I would start betting with my friends. Yeah, but yeah, I think that I really feel that Manchester City. But I'm a huge fan of Bayern Munich also. The kind of football that they play, and maximum of the squad being Germans. I feel that there are some leagues where top teams of those leagues, most of the players are from outside. So how is that even like an English Premier League or you know? So like in Spain, most of the players are Spanish in the top leagues. In Germany, most of the players are German. But maybe in the English Premier League, I don't know how many English players are even playing in the top four teams in the first 11. So how is that an English team? So yeah, I think I would like to see more of the local players play, and then we can say that is competitive. But yeah, I like the
So,
Germans,
sir,
German football.
yeah, yeah. So, sir, we have seen Eric Ten Hag criticizing his players publicly, and as a manager, what do you think about this action, like criticizing players on a public platform?
See, every manager has a different styles, and there's a lot to learn from each manager. But criticizing his own players in public, I don't know how the players would take it, or how everyone else would react. But I think better one-on-one conversations with the players would have been better. But yeah, like I said, everybody has their own managerial styles, and I don't think anything wrong in what he's doing. Even if you're in top of the league and you do everything wrong, that is still right. So he's a coach of Manchester United. Even if he's doing everything wrong, the world will still say he's right. So I think that it's a very debatable thing uh, with what he's doing, what he's not doing, and I'm no one to comment on Eric Ten Hag on the way he's managing his team. So yeah, maybe in the future, if I'm in a situation like that, who knows? I've also made blunders which people have discussed, and yeah, that's football. We'll have to learn to deal with criticism.
Yes, so I was very keen on asking you one question that if you see the Saudi Pro League has had a lot of big names like Ronaldo, Laporte, Mane, Milinkovic, Savic joining them in the last 1 year. And Indian football also has many big investors. We can see Tata, Sanjeev Goenka, the CFG group and all in the ISL. So do you think that maybe one day these big names might join Indian football?
I think it's quite possible, but I think if you want big names, you need big money. And the kind of money that those players are getting in Saudi, their salaries are more than the price of the entire ISL put together. So I think it will still take time, but like I said, money does not win you everything. And yeah, if you plan properly, it'll be great. I think we are traveling to Saudi very soon for my pro license. I have to go to observe a couple of clubs there. So yeah, I think I'll tell you better once I'm back from there. After I go and observe these clubs and study them, I'll tell you a lot more about them probably in the future, in probably a couple of months to come.
So I know it's kind of early, but we have the Euros in July 2024. So any early predictions?
I'm still a fan of the Germans. A fan of the Germans. Big fan of the Germans. So anything can happen, and because I like the way their philosophy. I like their playing styles. Most of the teams that play there are on the same page, and like I said, maximum local players, which is what excites me the most. And they're on the top of the world. So yeah,
So sir, now we've got some rapid fire questions for you.
okay.
So first question, we start with East Bengal or Mohun Bagan?
I think you want to make this viral with my answer. But I'll say Mohammedan Sporting because I'm former Mohammedan Sporting. I'll be a safe answer.
So, sir, Real Madrid or Barcelona?
Barcelona.
Manchester City or Manchester United?
I'll say Manchester United for the history that they have.
Of course, you're an Arsenal fan, but Spurs or Chelsea?
I'll say Chelsea.
So next up, we have Messi or Ronaldo.
Messi. Any day. He's God gifted.
So, sir, the next gen Messi, Ronaldo is Mbappe or Haaland?
I'll say this is tricky, yeah? But I'll go for Haaland any day.
Okay, so zonal marking or man-to-man marking?
Depends who I'm playing. Depends who I'm playing. If me as a coach, depends who I'm playing.
Yes, sir. So
No preferences.
the big two names in the Premier League, Pep Guardiola or Sir Alex Ferguson?
Next to Alex Ferguson.
Okay, so young talents or experienced veterans?
I'll say young talents.
And so the last one of the lot is a 1-0 win or a 5-4 win?
Oh, I'm struggling with clean sheets this season. So for me, it would automatically be a 5-4 win. But I would love to have that 1-0 win. I've had zero clean sheets this season, zero till now. But we've scored one of the highest number of goals in the league this season.
I'm
So
sure,
yeah, I
sir,
think
you'll
we're
get clean
struggling.
sheets. I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, sir,
Fingers crossed.
we'll end our podcast with something which we do with all managers. So, I request you to create your own dream team, like players of all time.
International or Indian?
International.
International. Wow. Never thought of this. Uh, I'll say in goal, Oliver Kahn, greatest center backs. Hmm. Wow. I never thought of it that way of all time, huh? Oh, I think that's tough, huh? That's tough. Center backs. I've never thought of this that way. Maybe a Maldini, a Crespo. I don't know. It's this is really tough. This is really tough. But I was a huge fan of Nemanja Vidic. Huge fan. Huge fan. Nemanja Vidic, and I'll say John Terry. These two would be super. Fullbacks, Philip Lahm and Marcelo. Yeah. In midfield, I'll go for three midfielders.
Yeah.
I'll go for a Pirlo. I'll go for an Iniesta and probably Kevin De Bruyne, three in midfield. You know,
Yeah.
white players, Messi, Ronaldo, and as a number nine, maybe a Erling Haaland.
Yeah. Yes, so I guess, yes,
I
sir.
don't
So,
think
yes,
any team can afford this team. Huh? I don't think any
yes.
can afford this team.
Absolutely.
But I believe if you give Saudi enough money, they can buy it.
Yeah, probably. It's quite possible. It's quite possible. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So that will be it. So first of all, thanks for joining us. We had a wonderful discussion regarding Indian football and European football, and hope to see you again in the future as well in our podcasts. And best of luck for the rest
Definitely.
of the season, and hopefully
Thank
finish
you
in a
so
good
much.
spot in the I League as well.
Thank you so much. And best of luck to you too as well, and to your page, to your discussing football. Just keep going, man. I think we need you guys in Indian football. So I wish you guys all the best, and we'll stay in touch.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.